We don't want to be late.
At one time, most of my friends could hear the bell. But as years passed, it fell silent for all of them. Even Sarah found one Christmas that she could no longer hear its sweet sound. Though I've grown old, the bell still rings for me, as it does for all who truly believe.
Hello and welcome to a Man About a Dog movie podcast, or MAaD Movie Pod. I'm the Ultimate Movie Geek and I'm joined by Mrs. Movie Geek once more. And tonight, we're talking Christmas movies. So, we've just finished watching one, may as well start talking about that. Go on, it's one of your favourites.
We've just watched Just Friends with Ryan Reynolds and I just love the end.
When he's singing.
He just sings along to I Swear, doesn't he? It's just such a funny film. I'm not sure it's a traditional Christmas film, but it's set at Christmas.
So it does
he's
work,
gone home to see his family and his real friends, because obviously he's based out in LA, became a big
music exec,
career
isn't he?
dude. Yeah.
And but it's set over Christmas, so I think that validates it to be a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But it's proper slapstick, isn't it?
Yeah, him and his brother's relationship is really funny. They're like still teenage boys, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like racing around, wrestling and punching each other.
Well, the way he's like says when she's knocking on his door and he's like, I said I had a tummy ache.
Yeah. Yeah, nothing's changed. He goes back. He's like the school.
He reverts, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's the school loser one. He was quite tubby and overweight, and he had a best friend throughout.
Yeah.
And he then goes off because he's humiliated in front of her. He was going to ask her to go out with him, and he's humiliated, and all the football team and everything are taking the mickey out of him. And he basically ups and leaves, and he doesn't return to his hometown for 10 years. And his mum
gives up food, doesn't he?
Yeah, and I mean, it's only an accident he ends up back there because Anna Faris's character is like a bit of a Kim Kardashian, minging, horrible woman.
Vacuous.
Yeah, she's she puts something in an area. They're on a jet on the way to Paris. That's the kind of life he lives. And I mean, he can't stand her. He's ended up lumbered with her because his boss wants her on their record deal.
Right.
And she puts, I think, like microwavable, whatever it is, and it's not cling filmed, it's wrapped in tin foil.
On it, yeah.
So it sets on fire, and they end up landing in Jersey, which is where he's from. So obviously he travels home for Christmas, and he takes over there. And then the onslaught of just mishaps and misadventures ensues.
But he tries to get back with his, he tries to
rekindle his friendship with his child. You know what I mean? He was his childhood sweetheart, even though he didn't go out with her. He was always in love with her.
Yeah.
And he they'd meet back in contact, and a couple of his other friends. And then there's another school loser, which is, what's he called? Kevin Kline?
Yeah. No,
not Kevin.
Something Kline, yeah.
Calvin
Calvin
Kline.
I
knew that sounded familiar.
Chris
Kline.
Chris Kline, there you go.
And he was like a proper, like, spotty, greasy loser, wasn't he? Like, with a stammer and stuff. So they both sort of had a journey, individual journeys. And it's just them trying to compete for affections. But it just really works. I think it's a really, really funny film. And the mum, I love the mum in it. She's the air hostess out of airplane.
Yes.
And she just is the same character, basically. And she's his mum, and it's just a funny film. It's set all around Christmas, so there's lots of carols and lots of snow, and it's
the house
just
that's
really
decorated
funny.
to the top.
Yeah.
What I find funny about it is he's the main character, but he's shown in a bad light, and everything goes wrong. He's almost, like I said at the end, like he's got Chevy Chase eyes. because he does the same sort of thing. He's almost like Clark Griswold, where everything that can go wrong, it will go wrong. And like when he's playing the ice hockey, and he smacks his own face with the puck, and then he slides down the hill and he's tired, and it's funny.
Yeah, once he sort of goes back to being himself, his real personality, that's when it like people like him.
Yeah,
and it's this like jet setter guy who nobody really likes, that he's trying to impress everybody, and it just doesn't really work.
Yeah,
does it?
No,
not for anyone other than obviously women in LA, which
it's good
shallow. Yeah, it's a funny film. If you haven't seen it, I would recommend watching it. It's a good laugh.
Well, I think you introduced me to that.
Yeah, well, I've done. It's your Ryan Reynolds at his best in it, really, before Deadpool and all that.
Where he started.
He's very fun. Like you said, he's probably developed a bit more into his looks, because he just look a bit weird in these films. I think his head's he's got a really big head, hasn't he? But yeah, it's very funny. Go and watch it if you haven't.
Yeah, watch it. Go on. For Halloween, we had pumpkins.
Christmas puddings
or snowmen or something like that. Christmas crackers, yeah, all right. out of 5 Christmas crackers, what would you give it?
I'd give it a 4.
4?
Yeah.
Bloody hell.
Yeah, it's a good film. You can't help but laugh. I've watched it a few times.
Yeah, well, I think that's the recording that we watched tonight from a couple of years ago.
It is, yeah. We Sky Plused it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's a good film. What would you give it?
No, I'd probably give it a 4. It is funny. I'd laugh. I've watched it a few times and I still laugh at the same points. It's just the mannerisms that he does as well, which I think he stands out. He's very, very Chevy Chase.
He is, yeah.
And you know he's probably developed that more now, and yeah, it's good. I'm trying to think of another film. What can we think of? So should we go for Scrooged?
Scrooged. It's another one of my favourite films.
Well, it is, isn't it? They're good. What I like about Scrooged is it's probably one of the most accurate Christmas carols, isn't it? Without being a Christmas carol.
Well, it's a modern day take on it.
Well, he's been Scrooged, isn't he?
1988.
1980s, it's not modern, is it?
Yeah, it's a modern day take on an unscrupulous businessman who's come from nothing, worked his way up, and he's like a TV exec, isn't he? Does he? I can't remember what he is. The network. Yeah,
he's like the head, isn't he? Yeah. He's supposed to be the youngest ever executive or whatever, and he's worked his way up by cutting all ties pretty much.
And that's based at Christmas.
Yeah,
and
it's really good.
Yeah, it starts out, doesn't it, where it's just him showing you he's like scheduled a Christmas carol, a live
one on Christmas Eve.
On Christmas Eve with all these actors and parts, and he's got people building sets, and he's telling the guy to staple
reindeer antlers to
reindeers.
Mice.
Yeah.
Just to highlight how bad he actually is. But they also go one step further by showing an advert that they did for the play, which is like drive-by shootings, and the newspaper article is that they acid rain, and it kills someone.
Yeah, it shocks a grandma to death or something, and she brings the paper in going, look at what your advert did, your trailer. And he's absolutely overjoyed. Yeah. He's like, you can't buy publicity like this.
So and then he like put it on the hour and have a disclaimer saying
every hour on the hour.
Everyone with a heart problem must leave the room.
Yeah. He's just loving it, and it caused so much mayhem.
And then you get what's his face.
He wins an award as well.
Yeah, the humanitarian of the year award.
He just keeps giving and giving. He's saying.
Yeah. But then he leaves it in the taxi, doesn't he?
He gets back to the office, doesn't he? Because he's obviously a workaholic.
Yeah. Well, it's all he's got in his life, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I suppose it's just Scrooge, isn't it? Because like the whole point of that is he works till 7:00 on Christmas Eve.
Yeah. But when he gets back to the office, it's when it all starts, isn't it? Yeah. And the ghost of his old boss.
It was JR, innit?
No, you say that every time. It's not the right guy.
Who is it then?
He's out. I can't remember. He was someone.
Is it the other one?
Yeah, someone Carrington out of Dynasty. But he's basically his old boss had died on playing golf, so he comes back and he gets golf, in there, doesn't and he? A little mouse and that playing in his head, and he warns him and says, "You don't want to be the man that I was." And he's like, "But you were great. Everyone loved you." And he was like, a charity, and it turns into Scrooge, the classic Christmas Carol, doesn't it? And he warns him that he'll be visited by 3 ghosts, that he needs to change his ways.
What he says, like, the women love me. He said, "You paid for the women."
Yeah, I was adored by women.
Oh, yeah.
Let's face it, Lou. I think you paid for the women. And then he puts him out the window, doesn't he? Yeah.
Which is
they're on a great height, and Bill Murray's like, "They'll think I'm a suicide." When he drops him into his chair, doesn't he? Yeah. And he's sort of...
And his phone's auto-dialing
his ex-girlfriend from years ago.
Which I think, as well, Scrooge seems to do justice to the romance plot.
Yeah, to the lost life that he
from
could have had.
Christmas Carol. Now, for me and you, and I'm speaking for you, that's the part of each film that we dislike.
Yeah, because he never has the life.
He never has the life, and it's always like your favourite Scrooge it's got that song, hasn't it? And you don't like it. You don't like the part of Christmas Past where you see his relationship. Yeah. And neither do I. But I think Scrooge,
it's based on it, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's...
gives it more of a purpose.
It's a woman out of Temple of Doom. I can't think of her name. She's his love interest, basically, and they're 4 O'Dowls there.
Yeah.
And he leaves her a message, doesn't he?
Which is mental, yeah.
It's life or death, or I don't know, it might not be, because he'd shut up his office, hadn't he, when this ex-boss turned up, the ghost. And then he realises nothing's out of place, there's no... And he said,
But he has a drink out of his glass and there's a golf ball in it.
There's a golf ball and then he passes out. But it's just all really traditional Christmas Carol today. And it's him on set. His boss brings in his son's mate from the coast.
Yeah, the guy.
So he's threatened by him and he feels threatened that he's going to lose his job.
Lionel Luther from Smallville.
It's just in the whole scene where they're in the restaurant.
Yeah.
And he's seeing all sorts of weird stuff, and like a guy on fire and eyeballs in his drink, and he's like screaming, and his boss is like, "Don't lose it on me now, don't lose it on me now." But it's really, really, and I like the fall in that. I like the fall
when he trips up on the step.
Trips up on the way out, and it looks a genuine fall because he even scuffs the floor.
But I don't know if it was actually
just a fall,
an actual fall, and he kept it in.
But he had a vision that a waiter was on fire, so he ran over and chucked a bucket of ice over him, and obviously he wasn't. It's just what he was seeing. And then he slides in the water on the way out, and he really goes down like a sack of shit, doesn't he? And he leaves,
but it looks perfect, doesn't it?
Mark off his shoe across the floor, and I always remember it because it is a convincing fall.
It is.
He just gets up, doesn't he?
And then he calls a taxi.
He calls a taxi, and that's the
this
first.
older one. This older one crashes into the first taxi that he's going to get into.
Yeah, and it's the first ghost of Christmas Past. Yeah. So it takes him back to his childhood home.
Yeah.
That's where it starts. And his real brother plays his dad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's the guy out of Chevy Chase.
Christmas Vacation, the boss.
It's his boss. And you can tell, actually, they do.
Well, I never knew that until like a couple of years ago. And,
Yeah, and it's his mum's pregnant with his little brother, and the guy's like, Niagara Falls, Frankie.
What was it? Attila Hun said the same thing, but as soon as he saw his mother, Niagara Falls, Frankie.
Yeah.
That's the whole reason for this.
But like, he's got not much. He's never had much of a life, hasn't he? Because when he's talking to the ghost of Christmas Past, because he said, you just sat in front of that TV for the next 15 years. And he's like, look it up, buddy. I did stuff. I ran down a hillside towards a beautiful girl.
House on the Prairie.
Was it the Homecoming one? Yes, it was the Homecoming one. And what else was it? Just everything he quotes, like Lone Ranger and everything that he had
His life has revolved around TV, and
it was TV, and it's perfect that he got the job.
Yeah, it makes sense where he ended up.
Dad was horrible to him.
Is it a choo-choo train? No, it's £6 of veal. and then he what's the word? Where he's like he's saying why that's a good gift because today's prices. Yeah, it justifies it.
Dad gave him a really nice gift of veal instead of a choo-choo train when he was 6. But then it goes to Christmas past, brings him to where he met his ex-girlfriend. And then that story evolves, and then it takes him to where they split up and where he was starting to sort of
become
successful
in
the company because he'd started off in the mailroom and stuff.
But they even do like the fezzy wig. I get
the Christmas party.
He gets the Christmas party right because he's still working, isn't he?
Yeah, and his old boss was there throwing the Christmas party in because he knew how important it was that staff enjoyed themselves and were motivated. And
it's
stuff.
A proper, well thought out film.
It is a good film, and then obviously the Christmas present cracks me up. I'd have battered her. I have to say, you'd have knocked her out, wouldn't you? She just hits him constantly.
It's hilarious. It's like, just go to your happy place. There's a little trickling river, and oh look, there's Mr. Hedgehog, and then she twats him in the face.
Yeah, she like hits him with the face, she hits him with a toaster, she slaps him, she chokes him. I think at one point, she kicks him in the balls, she drags him around, but she shows him like the people in his life and what they're going through. So like his personal assistant and her family are really struggling because her husband died and the youngest son doesn't talk, so he's a tiny Tim
because he's dead.
Yeah,
his dad died in front of him.
Yeah, he witnessed his dad's death and he wouldn't speak and stuff.
It's good because like Cratchit's role is given to a couple of people. So you've got his assistant who is Cratchit pretty much, but then you've got the other guy, and I can't remember his name. He's the guy from Police Academy.
Yeah.
Who is also part of that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, we should mention that he fired him, didn't
he? Yeah,
because he didn't like his promo that killed the old lady, so he fired him on Christmas Eve. But you then see his little brother, whose mum was
who is also his real brother.
Yeah, and that's also his real brother, younger brother, and him and his wife, and they're spending Christmas Day together. And he told his secretary to give him a towel. And she did instead of a VCR. She gave him a VCR, and it's like them playing charades and everything in it, and it's just then the last bit that's the saddest bit because he goes to meet Claire, his ex-girlfriend, and she's running like an outreach
thing, innit?
For homeless people and like getting turkeys to make a dinner and all the rest of it, and there's 3 drunks basically
which is
there.
Mark Fratelli, the guy from an episode of Star Trek.
Oh, he's in loads of things, isn't he? And then another guy, and they all think he's Richard Burton.
Yeah.
And they get him doing Richard Burton quotes. And then it shows you the guy that you'd met earlier. You'd asked him for a couple of books, and he said no. He said find another sucker.
Someone in there, innit?
Yeah. Because he falls out with that Claire.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the Christmas present one, he ends up down in the subway. I think that's after she hits him with a toaster, and he's like down under the streets, isn't he?
There's people walking by.
Yeah, on the like sidewalks, and they can't see or hear him.
It's Herman, isn't it?
And Herman, who he'd met earlier that day, who thought he was Richard Burton and asked him for a couple of books. It froze to death, hasn't he?
Showing his watch, isn't he? And he's got like a little
and he's got a smile,
heating blanket.
Yeah, he's got a little electric blanket over him. And he's sat there smiling, but he's frozen solid, and he has his little...
It's like, proper,
it's awful. And then he's like, give me a happy ending. He's like, maybe I should give you that couple of bucks. and then you start to see the change there.
Well, he seems to go through the 5 stages of grief in that, doesn't he? He's like, and he gets angry and he and he makes a joke and that. And then he ends up back in the studio.
Yeah.
Doesn't he?
Yeah, he comes back through. And then he meets... Well, which bit were you laughing at? He meets Death. And it's the company because they're doing a Christmas carol. Yeah. It's their guy dressed up like it.
Someone getting out of the lift.
Yeah,
just an
and
actor.
They're all just like, Jesus Christ, man, go to your office, you need a break. And the guy who's trying to get into his job,
isn't
is
it?
loving it. he goes up to his office and
he's about to have a drink, isn't he?
He's about to have a drink, and then the guy at Police Academy who was sacked a few hours earlier came in with a shotgun.
Where did he get the shotgun from?
I don't know, because he like all throughout the film it showed you his misfortune. Like
even like the Ghost from Christmas Past nicks his alcohol.
And then he gives blood, doesn't he? And he passes out and gets robbed, and just everything happens to him. So that
comes back later when he's like, he looks at his for
watch,
the time and he's not there.
But he starts shooting at him, doesn't he? Yeah. And then he escapes into the lift, and then Death's in the lift again. And he's like,
"Shouldn't you be downstairs?"
Yeah, shouldn't you be down? And he's hovering, and he like might work with the ladies, not with me. And then he realizes it's the real Death.
He opens the robe and all I don't know what are they, is it the creatures?
Whatever they are, yeah. And then obviously it shows you that his assistant's son, who doesn't speak,
goes into a home,
ends up in a mental institute. It shows, what else does it show?
It shows Claire as a selfish,
like a really heartless old lady who doesn't like children and tells them, quotes the same
because
thing he did.
Of what he said.
Yeah, scrape them off if you want to save somebody, save yourself.
See, you know this film well.
I do.
And then it shows a funeral, isn't it?
His sister-in-law, and he thinks it's his brother.
Yeah.
But it's him. But then he actually wakes up alive, doesn't he, in the coffin, and his feet are on fire, which I think is really impressive.
He's really good,
yeah. And he's obviously screaming, then he wakes up back in the lift. He's in the lift, isn't he? Yeah. And then the guy with the shotgun's still there, and he kisses him, hides him back, gives him a thingy, and
gives him his office, I think, as well,
and then to totally take over the network of this live broadcast.
Yeah.
And it's just a really good film. And like the Ghost of Christmas Past goes back for her because he puts a call out to her, and it ends happily. It's a lovely.
Yeah, she ends up going back with him, and I think that's where this story works because, like I say,
because he gets the life.
Yeah, he gets the. He's able to do the second chance where usual interpretations of Scrooge is he's an old man, isn't he?
Yeah, he's too old, and
life's gone.
By. Yeah.
But he I suppose he lives through Cratchit family, but I don't know.
It's And I always think the bit at the end, it probably isn't, but it feels like he's just
improvised.
Freestyled it.
Yes.
Yeah, like he's totally improvised.
And I think, you know what? That is what I don't like about that ending. Yeah. I don't like... It does feel improvised, like especially when he's walking around and it doesn't feel scripted.
No.
And I think that's where it loses me a little bit.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, it needs a bit more structure, but it's a good film.
It is a good film.
I can't not like it because of that.
Then you see the spirits as well.
Yeah, they're all
at the end.
Yeah, singing... Little Love in Your Heart.
Yeah.
It's a really good take on Scrooge, Christmas Carol. My elder sister, she's quite a lot older than me. She went to see this at the cinema when I was a little kid, and she went to see it with her boyfriend, and she fell asleep in the cinema, and I was
dear.
You know, when you just think a little bit of me died when she said that.
Wasted on you.
Yeah.
Well, we pretty much went through the whole of that film, didn't we?
Yeah, I'd give that a 4 as well.
I'm probably going to give it 4.5, maybe 5.
Yeah.
I'm good. Maybe, something like that. But I think it's up there because it is good. But no, you know what? I'm going to say 4 because of the ending that I don't really like.
Yeah, I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do love Scrooge. It's brilliant. Yeah. I love Bill Murray.
Yeah.
I don't know how you can't love Bill Murray.
I lent that to someone from work the other day. And he said, it was all right. He said it's not the best thing that Bill Murray's been in. I was like,
it is.
It is possibly one of the best things he's been in.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah. Well, have you got any more? What's on your list?
Of what?
Films, Christmas films. That's what we're doing.
We watched Die Hard the other week with Noah. Some would say it's not a Christmas film.
It is a Christmas film because it's set at Christmas, and it's Christmas Eve. And tomorrow on the worldgeeklynews.com website, it's Die Hard Day.
Today.
Today. We're taking Christmas Eve as Die Hard Day.
Yeah. There's Die Hard.
So go on then, Die Hard.
You want to talk about Die Hard?
Let's talk about it. Well, we're talking about them all.
Bruce Willis at his best.
Bruce Willis at his best, and possibly this is after Moonlighting, yeah.
Yeah.
So this is, I'd say this is his first thing, isn't it, into action hero status before he decided to.
This is 88, 89?
Something like that. I'm not too sure.
It's 80s anyway, but obviously if for those of you who've lived under a rock, Die Hard is where it's Christmas Eve. He flies into LA to see his estranged wife because they're separated.
Yes.
Obviously she's got the kids, so he's flying in.
Trying to work on the marriage, isn't it?
And he goes to meet her. She's obviously got a good job at some Japanese, I don't know, firm.
Nakatomi Plaza.
Yeah, so he goes to meet her. He gets a limo, doesn't he? Drive her
Argyle.
from the airport. And he goes in, talking to his wife, meets a few of the people that she works with.
Realises that she's changed her name to a maiden name.
She's got a maiden name on the door, which really annoys him. And he goes off to the bathroom. She's called out for something.
We discussed this before, didn't we? Someone on the plane tells him to take his shoes off and make fists with his toes.
Yeah, on the carpet because it calms you down because he didn't like flying. That was the advice. So we think he took his shoes off for that reason.
Yeah.
But whilst obviously he's doing that in the bathroom, cleaning up, freshening up with his shoes
Hans Gruber,
aka Alan Rickman. And his terrorists, a band of terrorists, basically take over the building.
Lock everything down,
and
take over the floor that has the party on.
Yeah, because it's pretty much an unfinished building, isn't it? And it just is. It's
one of the best action films, if not the best action film from the 80s.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Now, try and think of any other action films from the 80s. They were all Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, muscly guys who get shot and don't feel any pain but carry on shooting.
Yeah.
This, you've got John McClane, who just looks like a normal person. He's got a receding hairline, hasn't he? Yeah. And he's got no shoes on, so.
Yeah, he's a beat up, knackered old cop, and with a bad marriage.
Yeah, he is.
But he's a hero,
the everyman, isn't he?
Yeah.
And he takes on these guys the best he can.
Yeah, and he fights them sort of one by one, doesn't he?
Yeah. Ho ho ho! Now I have a machine gun.
I mean the things with him in the air conditioning when he has to jump down. Well, he falls down, doesn't he? And he goes through an air conditioning vent. It's just iconic, isn't it? When he's got his lighter and he's saying, "Now I know what a TV dinner feels like." And and I can remember watching that as a kid. And me and my mate used to quote the lines.
There go laughs.
Have you drinks and laughs? And we did, it was just a good film then. And it's even better. And we've let which is probably a bit naughty, we've let our
9-year-old watch it.
Our 9-year-old watch it. He has been told not to repeat any of the swear words. And he loves it.
He does,
doesn't he?
Well, it's a film. You can watch it.
And it's trying it. It's good. The good wins in the end because obviously he wins.
Yeah, but he almost loses.
Yeah, he does
so many times.
Yeah,
and I think that's what I don't want to get too far into it, but I think that's what Die Hard, the film series, has lost.
Yeah,
and it's almost like Indiana Jones as well because the hero has to get to the brink. And then win.
Yeah, because he almost gives up, doesn't he? When he's talking to Officer Powell.
When he's pulling the glass out of his feet.
He's pulling glass out of his feet.
And Powell's down there, isn't he?
Yeah, talking to him. There's so many good characters. And one of the brothers out of the Fratellis and the Goonies run about my Fratelli. The one who does
Agent
the Italian
Johnson.
music. Yeah, Johnson and Johnson. He's in it. And
not related.
It's just such a good film, and it's set at Christmas. So again, I think that makes it a Christmas film.
It is, yeah, I agree.
And it's about doing anything for your family.
For your family, yeah.
At the end of the day, and that's what Christmas.
Because that's all
about,
he's doing.
Being with your family and.
But he tries to save everyone as well. Like even that.
Yeah, the dickhead who's snorting cocaine.
Yeah.
And that. Yeah. He is. He's a good guy. He's a misunderstood guy, but he's a guy with lots of. Flaws,
yeah. He's a flawed person, so he's just a normal human.
Yeah, he's just a bloke, trying to do his best, but it's an awesome film, Die Hard.
Alan Rickman, though.
Yeah.
He's so good in it.
He is. He's proper cheese fest as
and
well.
I love it.
He pretends to be
oh, no!
Yes.
You're one of them, aren't you?
I think this is probably one of his first acting jobs.
I think it was his first acting job.
Yeah.
Or his first film role.
Yeah.
So there's still hope for me yet. You know?
Yeah.
But
it's good.
It is brilliant.
I'm going to give Die Hard 5 out of 5.
5 out of 5. I'm going to join you with 5 out of 5. And it also ends with Let It Snow, isn't it?
Yeah, Dean Martin, Let It Snow. Yeah.
So it's a Christmas film. Oh, maybe next year we'll talk about Die Hard 2.
Yeah.
No, I really enjoy Die Hard. It's one of my favourites.
I do, and I think we watch it every year, and we've watched it.
You watched it without me?
We've watched it. Yeah, well, you were out on your works too, absolutely hammered.
It's not my fault.
Bloody locked me out when you came in, you idiot. That drunk.
Yes.
Our little boy gave you Calpol thinking you were poorly. You were just drunk.
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. There's so many films set at Christmas or Christmas films, but it's funny that a lot of the films that we watch are based on the same story. So we've already talked about Scrooged, and twice today we have watched which you believe is the best interpretation of Scrooge or Christmas Carol?
Albert Finney's Scrooge.
1970. It's the musical. It's also known as Scrooge the Musical. And yeah, I'd probably agree that it is a really, really good one.
Yeah, I mean, we won't go into that loads.
No, we just...
Scrooge.
Yeah.
It's Christmas Carol.
Yeah.
Through and through. But in my opinion, by far the best.
Yeah.
I know loads of people love the Muppets Christmas Carol and all the rest of that.
Well,
this film is amazing. There's a massively boring part, although when you get older, it don't feel as long. But the part about the love interest.
The love interest again.
Is boring.
Yeah.
But everything else in this film is fantastic.
Yeah.
And I don't like musicals, but the music in this is so catchy.
She don't like musicals, but she's got a few musicals that she likes.
But this is Christmas for me, and I've not felt Christmassy. It's now Christmas Eve, and watching that today made me feel.
It was good,
Christmassy.
wasn't it?
Yeah. I was like, yeah, it's Christmas.
We put
now.
it on a Amazon, wasn't it?
Prime,
and then it turned out that it was on Channel 5 later on.
Yeah, I mean, we were busy. We had it on in the background, but it just is a lovely thing to have on. Like,
it's just proper. It is Christmassy, and I think the music helps do that, and I think it makes it stand out. And I think you've mentioned Muppets Christmas Carol. I wrote an article about this Scrooge earlier in the month, and I said that I think it's a precursor to the Muppets film, which a lot of people love.
Yeah.
Because it's got the music, and it's got the story, and it's very, very similar.
Yeah.
But this film has Alec Guinness.
Yeah, as
Marley. And he's superb in it, isn't he?
He's fantastic.
Just the way he moves, everything.
The way it's filmed.
Yeah.
I think if you haven't watched it, you should watch it. It's one of them. I think the more you watch it, the more you appreciate it. And there's something new you know. Like, I'd never really noticed. I just thought it was a bit weird. And like the last few times I watched it, I noticed how Jacob Marley moves.
Yeah.
And it's very ethereal and very awkward and like.
I never noticed that he sits down.
And there's no
on
chair.
nothing.
Yeah.
He moves the chair close to him, but he sits down on nothing.
And you think it's 1970, and I tell you now, for years, I thought Albert Finney was an old guy.
Yeah.
When it was made.
Yeah. He was only 43 or something like that.
I don't even think I clicked when I was younger, because obviously you used to watch it as a kid. When it shows you him in the past, he's only young. He's a young man.
Yeah.
And obviously that is what he looks like.
But it's really good old makeup.
It's fantastic. It doesn't look like stuff you watch now when they make people look older, which rubbish.
Yeah.
He genuinely looks like a bloke in
haggard,
the 60s. Like
balding guy,
horrible, dirty hands.
Yeah,
that's what I remember.
We mentioned that today. He had his hands on his eyes and his fingernails
dirty
are filthy.
And they've even put like a wart on one of his fingers and stuff.
Unless he may have had that wart anyway.
No, I don't know. And we won't go into the story because there's no point, but it's a really good version of it. And I think if people don't like it, there's something wrong with them.
Yeah, I because I think the music is integral to that film as well.
Yeah.
In my article, I used subheadings, but I linked those subheadings to the YouTube songs. Yeah. So they're all there. So if you go to the article, you can click on each of the subheadings, and it will take you to the music.
Yeah, it's a good film. Quite a few stars in it as well, actually.
Yeah. What's your favourite song in it?
Thank you very much.
Go on then. Give us a verse.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That's the nicest thing that anyone ever done for me. It's
even if you won't have known the film, I bet a few people know that song, but they won't know where they know it from.
I sing it a lot. If I say thank you very much, it's very odd. I remember going to my grandma and granddad's once, and my granddad was watching that version.
Yeah.
And I remember it because it was one of the last Christmases. So it's funny how, because it's on every year, isn't it? Or,
and you have memories, don't you? Yeah. It holds a lot of memories for me, actually, and I just love it.
Yeah.
And like, we will always have it on.
Yeah.
And I think, Carry On, that our boys watch it, that and Die Hard and a few other bits. So.
Yeah. I think he wants to watch Die Hard 2 now, doesn't he?
I'm gonna give this a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
Why?
I thought it'd be a 5.
No, because I can't stand the boring bit with a woman who's like singing.
Always something, isn't there?
Just singing happiness all the time.
But it's
you dump her.
Yeah, but no, because she's just.
Yeah, I know. But
visualising how she feels, and it's her internal monologue.
Oh, whatever. Shit's a 4.
She was happy with him, but he decided to choose money over her. Yeah. And you said he didn't go after her.
No, he didn't.
Well.
What anyway. Are you giving it?
I'm going to give it a 5 because I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed watching it today and then it being on again later on. Yeah. I wrote another article this month. Well, I wrote 2. Christmas Vacation. We watched that a few nights ago. Was it a week ago? Something like that?
Yeah, about a week, I'd say now.
Now again, it's one of those films that it's just slapstick humour. And I think I've somehow become the embodiment of Clark Griswold, because if you've seen any images of my house, and I've put it on my article, one of my articles, and
it's just the outside,
just the outside. Yeah, the inside isn't.
No, it is. I mean,
no, I mean it's not.
The inside of the house isn't on anywhere online, but it's just as
bright
as inside.
What did the taxi driver say to you last night?
I can't remember.
Did you not remember?
I can't remember.
You said that he said. It looks like go on.
I said I've been out with my friends last night. I wasn't even that drunk, and then I was like, "It's the house at the top of the street. You should turn it the close. You'll see it. It's all lit up." I said it's like Chevy Chase has been at it, and then we laughed. I said my husband, and the guy turned up the street. He went, "Oh wow!" He went, "It's like a house from America or something." And I love that because that's what you want, isn't it? That's the aim.
It is.
And that's what Chevy Chase obviously does in his film. He's just a desperate man, wants desperately to please everybody.
Yeah.
He lives in a fantasy land.
Yeah, well, the fact that one of the scenes is where he goes up the loft to hide his presents. And he finds a present from, 1970 something or other. And and then he gets stuck up the loft and watches old Christmas home movies, and he's just trying to relive his youth, isn't he? His childhood, and he goes sledging at one point, and that again, that's like proper silly slapstick humour, but it works with Chevy Chase, doesn't it?
He's just funny, isn't he? He just wants everything.
Yeah.
And he seems a nice guy.
Yeah.
He loses his shit though a bit, doesn't he? You can tell when he gets annoyed, and he doesn't like the people he works with, because when he says hi to his boss and his boss walks off, and then he's like, "Kiss my ass, kiss your ass, kiss his ass," and you wouldn't expect him to do that if he's a really nice guy. So I think obviously,
no, I think he sees what everything is, and like he says, he works his ass off.
Yeah.
For what he's doing.
Yeah.
But
his family don't appreciate it. I think his wife does, but his kids are at the age where they just find him an embarrassment, and he just wants everything to be perfect, a perfect Christmas. And as anyone will know, unless you live in La La Land and believe it, nobody's family is perfect. Everybody's family is bonkers.
Yeah.
Everybody's family. There's always shit goes down at Christmas. There's always a relative who's really annoying. There's always one who's really drunk. There's always one who's really depressive. everybody has that in their families, whether you realise it or not. You'll think about that when you listen to this, and you'll know. Because everybody's families are like that. They're just batty.
Yeah.
And that's what makes Christmas, isn't it? The memories of the nice things about the kids opening the presents and the tree.
You miss it when it's gone.
And actually when they're older relatives, he's got a lot of older relatives in this film, and when they've gone, all those memories have gone with them. That the old lady who'd wrapped a cat.
Who wrapped a cat up?
Yeah, that shit's crazy.
And put cat food in the Jello mold.
Yeah. Yeah, but that is the sort of stuff that I know that's extremities. That's the stuff that makes you, you may not think it at the time. You think, Jesus Christ. But that is what Christmas is, isn't it? It's all the crazy memories of things. But no, it's a really good film. And again, his brother is in this, isn't it? Not his brother, Bill Murray's brother.
He is the boss, yeah. Who decides to take the bonuses away from people. Yeah, he takes the bonus
away, doesn't he? And Chevy Chase has already put a big deposit down on an outdoor swimming pool.
No one would do that, would they?
I know. But then his brother-in-law is Randy. Is it Randy?
Is it Randy Quaid?
Randy Quaid.
Yeah, it is.
He's really funny in this, actually. And
shit, it was full!
They're like living in an RV. They come and drive up, don't they? And he gets him to buy all the kids' presents. Well, he hasn't got the kids' presents and nothing.
The lights, he puts on the lights on the house, and they're not working. They don't know why it's not working. It turns out that you need to flick a switch for these plugs to work. And then when it works, Griswold goes to every member of the family and hugs them, and
he's emotional.
And then he goes to cousin Eddie, and he's like, I can't remember what he says, but
great Clark, it's great. It's like, thanks Eddie, thanks
Eddie.
Like, Eddie.
And he realises what
Eddie, and he basically moves in, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
But it's so funny.
Yeah.
But everything that they do is what families do for each other. Because he ain't got money and the kids don't have anything. He buys everything for them, doesn't he? And then, somebody, the boss who's took his bonus away, then cousin Eddie
goes and kidnaps him because he says,
you're not getting away with that, that's my family.
No, but it's because he takes it literally, doesn't he? He's like, I want someone to go and get my boss, tie him up and bring him here. So he does.
It's funny film. I didn't watch this until probably 10 years ago, I think. It's one that passed me by, and I really like it. It's really, really funny.
It is. I do. It's the only vacation film that has a sequel.
Has it got a sequel?
Yeah, Cousin Eddie's Island or something like that.
Oh, I've never heard of that.
No, I haven't.
I would give this a 4. It's a feel-good movie. You feel sorry for him.
Yeah.
But it's just typical Clark.
Yeah.
As well.
Well, it is. It's because like when he's in the loft again, he steps on a plank that hits him in the face, and then he steps on another plank that hits him in the back, and it's just he's so clumsy.
It's harking back almost to like Charlie Chaplin, slapstick comedy, innit? They're just everything that can happen to him will happen to him.
Yeah.
But he is a fan, and he's flawed.
He's very flawed, isn't he?
He's chatting up the woman. He goes shopping, isn't he? And he's with his son.
Well, she's showing him his knickers,
like, which wouldn't happen. But he's like proper drooling over her, isn't he?
And
like,
then the son's there, the guy from the Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
And he's like, because he turns to him and says, "What do you think, Ross?" He's like, "Yeah, that's good." I don't know.
And then like later on, he has a
daydream, isn't it?
Like a daydream about that woman and stuff.
Because he's dreaming about the swimming pool and all his family, and then she's there with the family in the background. Then the family disappear, and it's just her, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's a good film. It's a funny film. What would you give it?
I'm going to give it 4 as well. It's a good one. I'll say another one that I wrote an article on. This was yesterday's, I think. The Polar Express. Now, you said to me that you didn't think you liked it as much as you thought. I like it, but I can see why it's flawed. Because I think it's very dated, and Robert Zemeckis tried to do like the motion capture before the technology was really right.
The story's lovely, and it's for children who are beginning not to believe in Father Christmas. So it's like the journey, and they take them to the North Pole on the Polar Express. They come for the children who are teetering on not believing.
It's one of the storybooks that we read every Christmas.
Yeah, we have the Polar Express. And it's a good... I do enjoy it. I can't say I don't not, but I find it boring at parts.
Yeah, like the coffee bit, the cocoa bit.
I don't like that. Like I don't like musicals. The hot chocolate. I just find that all that a bit annoying. But I know why it's in there because other people like it.
It's a short book though, and you've got to fill.
Filled a lot of it in.
The film was made for 3D. You can tell that when you're watching it in 2D. Yeah. A lot of it is like throwing stuff at the camera.
You've got all your different characters as well, so he makes a lot of friends, doesn't he? And there's the boy that they pick up from the wrong side of the tracks.
Wrong side of the tracks,
literally, who doesn't have anything. He's got wellies instead of slippers. Yeah. And I think we all know people like that.
Yeah.
And it's showing that no matter where you're from, you're all the same type of thing. And it's about friendship, isn't it? And if you truly believe.
Oh, hang on. You're thinking about the last line?
No, I can never say the last line. I read this to my sons, and I can never read the last line without crying. I can't read it without crying.
It's good.
But like you said about a lot of the
motion capture. It was all done, or pretty much most of it was done by Tom Hanks. And he plays several characters in it.
Yeah, he does. And I always thought the character of the hobo on the roof, I thought that was Father Christmas.
Yeah, he's a spirit. I think it's the Christmas spirit, isn't he? Yeah, I do.
He's almost like the spirit of Christmas past, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he has red gloves, and there's a few little things, but then he's quite scary, like when he goes into the cart of discarded toys, and that's quite scary for little kids.
Yeah, you're like me, a Scrooge.
Yeah, and then he ties him up as well, and there's a few. I find it a bit. I don't know. It's a bit hard work sometimes.
Yeah, well, I think I've watched that twice this year.
I've not watched it.
I watched it with when we were setting everything up, when we were moving him around and putting the Christmas tree up. Yeah. With Jonah, and then watched it yesterday as well. So it was good because again, I think it's just it's a shame that the technology kind of let it down. I
don't even think it's that. I don't know what it is. It just feels a bit disjointed to me. And then you've got all that Aerosmith going on.
Yeah, what was that about at the end? He's only in it for like a split second, but he's there.
Rocking on top of the world and all
but I didn't like that the elves are really ugly.
Yeah,
as well.
Like, they sound really weird.
Yeah, but they don't like. One of them says, "Come on, you can trust," but he doesn't sound trustworthy.
You can trust me. It sounds like he's going to flash at him. No, it's like you really don't sound like you could trust you. I don't know. It doesn't do it for me. I don't mind watching it, but I certainly don't love it.
No, I don't think I love it. I think it's very good though, and it pushed the technology.
But I do love the way they put the end of the book into the film, and everybody else says, "Oh, it's broken. It's broken." I can't even say it because I'll fill up. I can't say it. I love it though. I love that end line. I'll let you say
I'm trying to think of it. I can't remember what it is. It's something along the lines of
the bell will always ring.
For
those who truly believe.
For those who truly believe. That's the last bit, isn't it?
Because he says in the film, doesn't it, that
even his sister
grew older and couldn't hear it anymore.
But the bell still rings for those who truly believe.
Yeah. But I love that bit. I'm only going to give it a 3.
I'm probably going to give it a 4.
Yeah, no, I don't like it that much.
No, I do. I think because some of the, like at the beginning when the train arrives, they've just snatched it from the book. And also I get the impression that Robert Zemeckis is his lifelong dream was to ring the horn of a steam train. Yeah. Because he repeats the line from Back to the Future that he wanted to do that his whole life. I don't know.
3 for me.
3, 4. Okay. What else? I know there's one, which I'm going to save till the end. Is there anything else that you can think of?
No, I mean we could go on forever, couldn't we? So there's so many. Christmas films.
All right then. Well, we'll stick with the last one, which we've watched every year since we've been together. And yeah, It's a Wonderful Life, which again is a Christmas film because it is set at Christmas Eve. Even though the majority of the film is set in flashback, isn't it? Yeah. So it is a Christmas film.
It is, yeah.
And it's one of my favourites. I'm just going to say it now. It's a 5 for me because it is. It's just so heartwarming, and James Stewart, it's his best film.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, Jimmy Stewart is just the embodiment of a really good person in this film. Yeah. Even though he tries not to be.
But even then, again, he's not, is he? Because he's a proper grump at some points.
He's flawed.
Yeah.
But, and he's quite selfish at times. Yeah. He wants things and he wants it a certain way. And like you say, but when it comes down to it, when he has to do something, he always does the right thing. Yeah.
He always chooses others over himself.
Now, I don't know, is this 1947? It's very early, isn't it? It's like an old film. A lot of people I know have never watched this, and when I talk to them, I'm always a bit I'm bowled over that people haven't seen it. It puts a lot of people off because it's black and white and because it's old. Yeah. But actually, it's a fantastic film. If you've ever watched Gremlins, the guy's watching It's a Wonderful Life in it, so he's running through the streets in the snow. But it's basically about George Bailey. And it starts, doesn't it, like on a night where it's like the stars in the sky are talking to each other.
Yeah, it starts off really, really weird because you're looking at the stars.
Like
and then,
galaxies almost speak, like flashing, talking to each other.
And it is literally the heavens.
There's lots of praying for George Bailey tonight. Yeah. We need to send somebody quick.
Oh, it's his big night.
And then there's this tiny little star that races all around the heaven. It's Clarence. And he gets sent down basically to help George Bailey.
Yeah.
Now, it goes back, they tell him the story, don't they?
Yeah.
So you see the story.
He hasn't got his wings,
told to Clarence, who's an angel. He's a star at the minute. And it starts from, like, when he was a tiny boy and, like, all the things he'd done and saved his brother and saved kids because the chemist had put the wrong medicines in.
And... So, like, the first thing is he's sledging with his brother and his brother falls into the ice. He jumps straight in to get his brother out.
He does like a chain line and all that, and he loses
his hearing in one ear because of it. And then later on, I think it goes forward, doesn't it, to when he's working in the chemist. And he's like he works in the shop, but he also delivers the drugs. And it's one of the good scenes, isn't it, where he's like he sees that. The guy, the chemist, is upset and he seems to have put poison in one of the tablets.
He realises he's upset and he looks at a letter on the side that's been put down. And when he reads the letter...
It's a telegram, isn't it?
It's a telegram to say that his son died of influenza while serving in the war. Yeah. And it's really sad, and obviously the chemist is devastated and he's drinking in work and he puts poison in. And he realises, and he looks at, I think it's poster.
That's what I was trying to get. It's like a poster for cigarettes saying,
if in doubt, ask Dad. And he goes and asks his dad, but his dad's busy with old bloody, what's his face?
Potter.
Mr.
Potter.
I mean, we could go on forever. We could tell
we do. Well, I want to go on forever. Let's do this.
But he basically, anyway, he tells him, doesn't he? He slaps his ear a load and it makes it bleed.
But it makes it bleed as well, which is like...
But then he realises, because he wouldn't listen, and he said, no, you've put the wrong stuff in. I know you're upset that you've put the wrong stuff in. And then he kisses him, doesn't he? He's like, I'm so sorry, George, I'm so sorry. But George's dad is basically already an old man. Yeah. And he owns the building and loan company. And building and loan companies, I mean, there are still some around, were purposely there just for building and loaning to people to build. It's what building society were. And there's a bank. So they're always up against the bank, and the guy's unscrupulous.
Yeah, he is. he needs the visit from the three ghosts.
The ghost from the and then it just goes through his life. So then he's like, he's meant to be a teenager, but he's not. He's really old. And like at
he's
the
Jimmy
dance,
Stewart, isn't he?
the dance where they meet Mary and they fall into the swimming pool, and he walks
the swimming pool that he designed as well, which because he's an architect, isn't he? Really, but he wants to get out of that town.
Yeah, he wants to see the world. He wants to travel the world, and he then like walks her home, and there's the whole lasso the moon for you, and it's a long, and that night they're getting on really well, and there's an old house, they're throwing stones at the windows and stuff.
There's the old guy.
House, if you don't kiss her, I'm gonna, And then somebody pulls up alongside, I think it's Ernie in the taxi, and says, "You need to get home quick, George. Your dad's had a stroke." And then basically his dad dies, doesn't he? And he settles all of the estate up, sorts it all out because he was meant to be going away.
He was supposed to be going away abroad before he goes to school to college. He was
going to travel and then go to college.
So he stopped the travel, but he's still going to college. But then Mr. Potter, who is on the board, wants to close the building alone.
Yeah.
And then, so before he leaves the room, he has a go and argues for the building loan and why it should exist. And then he leaves the room, and then everyone else on the board decide to keep him on.
Yeah, only if he stays in the position that his dad had. So basically,
it's kind of...
He realises that people would be out of a job.
Yeah.
And then that people in the town would be at the mercy of Potter.
Yeah.
So he stays. So he doesn't get to go travelling. He doesn't get to go to college.
No. And he gives his money that he saved for school to his younger brother.
So his brother goes off to college. And
the deal was that he would come back after school and take over the building alone so that then he could go. But what happens?
So his brother comes back and his brother's married.
Yeah.
He's got a wife, and her dad owns some big firm and has given him a job. And obviously George does the right thing because he's like, is there a future in it for him? And she's like, yeah, there really is. So he gives it all up, doesn't he? And he has to stay. And he's bitter about it. Yeah, he's bitter about it.
And he leaves the party, doesn't he, to go and see Mary?
Yeah, and he goes to see Mary. And that's all very strange, I have to say, when he kisses
her
and all
that's old film kissing, isn't it? They don't move. There's nothing there. Yeah. But it's very, very emotional.
Yeah. And her mother's devastated because they end up getting married.
Yeah.
And then
she's proper horrible, isn't she? She hates not like Norman.
Yeah, she's so upset because she wanted to marry Ehor. What's it called?
Sam.
Sam. And that's their friend who'd gone off and lives in the city in New York.
But he owns a company and he offers
George and Mary.
like bottom floor and that to invest in this company. It was plastics, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then that comes back later on, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because it takes off.
Yeah. And they didn't invest.
They didn't invest.
But they get married, and then she'd bought the house, so a surprise for him. She bought the dilapidated house.
And she builds it up. She fixes it all up.
And they fix it. They work on it for years. But before that, they're meant to go on the honeymoon.
Yeah.
And they've got all the money for the honeymoon, and they're going out.
$2,000, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a hell of a lot of money back then. And there's a run on the bank and the building a loan.
He closes the bank for a week, and Potter says if you close your doors before the end of work today, then you won't open them again. So
he takes his own money in, and there's a run on the bank.
But that's her, isn't it? She says, "I've got the money.
Yeah,
use this," and they do, and they get. And it's good because there's a complete arsehole at one point who says he wants to take all of his money out of it, close his account. He takes all of his money, but George says you can keep the account open. And then there's a woman who he says...
Do you know who it is? It's the grandma at the Waltons.
I think you said that.
It's the little old lady in the Waltons, but she's not like old in that.
No.
That's how old it is. And she wants something like $14, $7 or something, doesn't she, for a week?
Yeah.
And so many cents.
And then everyone else does that, and they've got $2 left at the end of the day.
Yeah. And then it's basically just tracking him and his family, and they're up against it, aren't they?
Yeah.
They never have any money. They do the house over a number of years in between having lots and lots of children.
Of kids.
And, it's like anyone's house. I think you get one thing done and another bit needs doing.
He almost gets tempted by a job offer from Potter as well.
Yeah, he shakes his hand, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And then he rubs his hand and he's, ugh. Yeah. And what happens then is that night, his uncle is taking the banking over to put into the bank because it goes into the vault, I would reckon. So it's like the end of day banking, all the cash. And he shoves something in. He
puts it in a newspaper.
Yeah,
and it's because
the article is about George's brother. Because George sacrificed so much, his brother went off to war.
And he couldn't join because of his ear. And he couldn't join
because he was deaf. And his brother became a massive war hero, met the president and everything. It was all in the papers. So their uncle showed it to Potter and was like, this is what our family do.
He gives the newspaper wrapped up with the money in.
But the money's in it, and Potter keeps it. He keeps it, and he's sort of laughing in it because he goes to submit the money.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, you've forgotten something, and he retraces his steps. He doesn't know what, he's a bit of a klutz, isn't he? And then word gets back to George, and George says, I'm not going to prison for it, because obviously it's a lot of money, and it's like $10,000 or whatever it is. And then he realises he thinks he'd be better off dead because they're the insurance, and if he dies, they could blame him, and his family would be looked after. Yeah. And that's when he'd gone missing, hadn't he?
Well, he goes missing. He gets drunk, and he has a go at his kid's teacher.
Yeah.
And then his kid's teacher's husband hits him in Martini's bar.
Yeah.
So there's all these people that have seen him in that day, and they don't know where he is, and they're all like praying for him to be okay. So he's on this bridge, and he's about to jump off.
When in pops Clarence.
Clarence just jumps off himself. And what does George do? He goes in to save someone.
Him, and it's a snowy winter's night, and then they get out, and they're in like a toll bridge, aren't they? I would say. And the guy's keeping him warm, sort of listening to the stories. And,
falls off his seat, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he's Clarence is saying, I just saved your life. And George is like, no, I saved yours.
That's my tricky ear.
Yeah, what's that? That's my tricky ear. I think I saved yours. And he said, no, I stopped you from jumping in though. And then it's all, the sort of the guy who walks out and he's spitting into a spittoon and stuff. He just walks out.
He just goes because it's all a bit weird.
And he's got all these really old-fashioned clothes, Clarence, and the first edition of Tom Sawyer and stuff.
Yeah.
And it then just unfolds like, well, why have you done it type of thing? He said, because, people would be better if I wasn't here. So Clarence went, oh, I've got an idea. And he said, done.
And then the door opens because something's changed.
They're not very happy as well. And he says, oh, you don't have to make all that noise.
Yeah.
And like George just looks at him. But then they come out and they go to all the places he's been to, like
so he crashed his car into a tree.
Yeah.
And there's no damage on the tree and the car's not there. And then they go back to the bar, which is now Nick's bar, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's giving winks. So.
Yeah. It's he goes to show what life would be like. His brother would have died.
Yeah. Well, his brother would have died.
Chemist was in the bar.
Yeah. And he was drunk.
And he was like, he murdered a load of kids years ago. Yeah. So if you know him, you must be a bad type.
You must be from prison or something.
Yeah.
His mother owns a hostel or something like that.
Yeah, and she's not a nice lady.
And the best one, the building alone is closed, and the whole town has like strip clubs,
like hoochie bars. Yeah.
Hoochie bars, and it's called Pottersville instead of. Bedford Falls.
And then his wife
Mary, the worst thing that could ever happen to anyone. Woman.
That's how it portrays it.
She's an old maid.
She's an old maid, George.
Who works at the library.
Yeah, she's got her head screwed on right as that, Mary. No kids, no easy life, no husband.
But she's proper dainty as well. She's got like hair tied back, and she's like, no.
And she passes out when he's talking to her. It's all really silly, to be fair. But it just shows the impact that he's had on people's lives and like all the people he's helped over the years.
Well, it's quite scary that he's the one who keeps that town nice, isn't he? And without him,
he's integral to it, isn't he?
Yeah, and it's great. And then he, what does he do? He then he runs back to the bridge, doesn't he?
Yeah.
And then prays to live.
Yeah, and it stops snowing.
It starts snowing.
Yeah.
And then the cop finds him, and he's about to hit him, isn't he?
Yeah, because they'd had a bit of a fisticuff, haven't they? And they said, we've been looking for you all over. And then they take him back. And
Mary's organised everything.
There's a tax guy there, isn't there, from the bank. And all these people
who've
helped over the years heard what happened.
Yeah, and come in.
And they've all come in with their own money. And because there was so many of them, they had all the money that they needed. Yeah. And even the tax guy from the bank was like,
he puts money in. And then Sam, who set up the company, telegraphs in saying that he'll give up to 25,000 advance. So he's and I think that he finds a book under the tree or in the money, and it's the first issue of Tom Sawyer with an inscription inside which says, "No man is a failure if he has friends." From Clarence.
Thanks for the wings. Yeah. And on the
tree,
the Christmas tree, the bells like ding and ring, and his little daughter says, every time a bell rings, an angel gets their wings, and then it's Clarence.
Yeah. Oh, it's brilliant.
Yeah. There's a boy Clarence. But we've probably made it sound really boring, but it isn't such a good film.
Even though when it was released, it failed.
Did it?
Yeah.
It's such an old film, and
it is.
I just find Jimmy Stewart so charismatic.
Yeah, he is.
You can't stop watching him.
No.
He's so natural, and he makes mistakes, but he carries on.
Yeah.
He doesn't stop, I don't think. I think he's not one of them actors who goes, I've said it wrong.
Yeah.
He carries on and corrects himself, and he does it a few times in this film.
Yeah.
He sort of auto-corrects.
He's brilliant. He's one of my favourite actors.
He is. He's fantastic in Rear Window, isn't he? Yeah. But he's really good in this, and it's a really good feel-good movie. And I used to watch this with my dad pretty much every Christmas, usually on a Christmas Eve. And we carry that tradition on, I think. And I
watched it before I met you, but it's just brilliant. It's like we were meant to be together, weren't we?
And Noah likes it, and our son doesn't like anything old. Kids are like, they like everything brand new, and actually colourful. Noah will sit and watch it, and he likes it.
We'll be watching it tonight or today, some point.
Tonight.
Yeah. But yeah, like I said, it's a 5 for me.
It's a 5 for me because it just epitomises everything that a Christmas film should be.
It is perfect.
About.
It's heartwarming.
It's a heartwarming film, and it actually shows you that even the best people would look on his life and think he's so lucky.
Yeah.
And actually, there's so many things that have happened to him where actually he's not lucky, and actually he has had quite a hard life, and he still struggles. He struggles with things daily because it isn't really the life he wanted. But even he realises he's blessed.
Yeah.
Because, he has got a fantastic life. Well, he's got a wonderful life.
He's got a wonderful life,
yeah. But it's one of them that sometimes you don't realise until everything changes that how lucky you are. And it's a nice reminder, I think, that we're all quite, I'd say people...
a lot of us are blessed.
Yeah, we're very, very blessed. Yeah. But it's a lovely story, and it's good. And Jimmy Stewart's its finest.
He is, brilliant.
Yeah.
I think everyone pulls the weight in that.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's remained.
Yeah.
And I hope they don't make a sequel.
I've given it to people that I've worked with over the years when they've said they've not watched it. And I've took your DVD and gone, I watched that. And I've had people come in going, that's an amazing film. I don't know how I haven't seen it before. And I always warn people and go, it's black and white.
Yeah.
And it's old fashioned.
Yeah.
I said, but stick with it.
Still, it is old fashioned, but I think it's got enough about it to just to keep everyone interested.
Yeah. I don't know anyone who doesn't like it. I don't think.
No.
Or if I have, they've not openly admitted it.
Yeah.
And I'd be a bit worried. I probably wouldn't. I'd be worried if any of my friends had done like this.
No, it's a perfect film, and I just again, like I say, I hope it doesn't. I hope they don't make a sequel. There's no need to make a sequel.
They just need to leave that alone.
Just leave it. Yeah. Even I haven't even watched it in colour. I know the colour changed. They fixed it with colour, didn't they?
They've done a technical.
I don't think I could watch it.
I could, but I think it'd take a little bit of the magic away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Oh, it's such a good film. Like when they introduce George Bailey and he's in the shop and he's like, I want a big one, and then it pauses and he's like, he's got a good face. It's just brilliant.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good. Oh well. That'll be it then, yeah? I think we've talked a few Christmas films for our Christmas Man About a Dog movie podcast. Well, all right. You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at The Ultimate Movie Geek, and write articles on worldgeeklynews.com. Subscribe to my YouTube channel at The Ultimate Movie Geek. And hopefully we'll get these weekly podcasts going soon. It just depends when. And I think all that's left to say is have a Merry, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. You got anything to say?
No. Can we go to bed, please?
Let's go to bed.
Merry Christmas.
See you later.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.